Okay, that's us on to the last album then. So this is The Third Side of the Coin, which is the second album from Edinburgh-based artist Inkfields, also known as Samuel James Griffiths. And this was recorded in the legendary Abbey Road Studios, and it was released on the 28th of April 2023, so just a few days ago. So we were sent this by Ian Dawson at Rave Child, and Rave Child curate a regularly updated new Scottish music playlist. They also have a Scottish music blog and a new Scottish music podcast with Snack Magazine called Everybody Wants to Play the Hits. They're also a music PR service, so they're kind of they're doing their bit to promote Scottish music. So I'm really glad that Ian sent this over to us because I've really been enjoying it. I think there's a sort of intricacy to it that we've seen from the likes of O'Shin or John Mickey, like two totally different artists, but I think they're all adept at combining all these lots of different like musical elements into a really engaging package. So the opening track, the title track for the album, The Third Side of the Coin, it combines a kicking drum beat with muted guitar picking, the odd sort of shoegazy effect and some almost western sounding riffs. The vocals I find to be very poppy. I've said like almost like Michael Bublé or Robbie Williams, like poppy. Maybe it's a little bit too far, but
I never got that. I got El Camino. Well, what I've written here is El Camino era Black Keys. That's what I thought.
But that's where my head went to with that. This sort of like sweet kind of crooning kind of vocal, and it's not something that I'm normally into, but it works pretty well here with everything that surrounds it, and it reminded me a little bit of the West Lothian band Dictator, who I saw at Stag and Dagger a couple of years ago actually at Sneaky Pete's, and their singer had a similar kind of style, like really poppy but really like a really good singer. And I think that sort of muted guitar picking is a bit of a theme across the album, that sort of style. The second track, Moroccan Blue, has got these kind of chugging muted guitars, a sort of sparkly ethereal guitar lick, and here I really love the vocals. They're quite moody, but they're still poppy, and they just work along with everything else. You've got female backing vocals that come in as well later on. They're really wonderful, and there's also a super like hard edged like glam rock almost guitar riff that gets thrown into the mix a couple of times, which I really love.
Yeah, so when I was kind of reading about the album, I think it was in one of his Instagram posts about the album. He was trying to recreate I don't know. He's always had an affinity with the sea, so he was trying to recreate that in the album. And I think you can see that reflected in a lot of these songs, as you mentioned, those kind of ethereal type kind of soundscapes. That there is a lot of that kind of peppered throughout the course of the album. A lot of kind of intricacies and depth and texture, which works really well. It kind of is that kind of juxtaposition to that kind of swaggering kind of, I think it's kind of soft kind of bluesy guitar riffs for the most part. Yeah, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs I've picked out here as being highlights on the album. I really like Pomposity. It's got really like the lead guitar line on that's really great. The drums, especially on that song, there's a wee bit of reverb to the drums, and it just gives them this really satisfying like clap. Really poppy vocals, and then the last. It's this song where it takes like a crazy turn in the last 40 seconds and turns into this like buzzing, grinding, gothic, industrial sort of beast, and it's just like comes out of absolutely nowhere, but it's my favorite moment on the album. It just turns into this weird gothic thing. It's good. I think track 7, Smile for the Camera, another really great song, really awesome hard rock guitar riff, and it's just really unexpected, but it works. It's got these laid back vocals and drums, and I can't quite make out what the lyrics are through the section, but the melody is great, and then it's got this smile, this bit where he sings "Smile for the Camera" at the end of a few different lines, and always just stands out for me. And round about the 2-minute 15 mark, there's this really cool squealing, bending guitar as well. That's definitely one of the best songs, and it kind of annoys me that I can't quite pick out what those lyrics are, because it's a really sort of sing along bit, and I just can't quite figure out what the lyrics are.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. I mean, I like the lyrics. I know that you said that they're quite poppy. I wouldn't necessarily agree. That there was one song where I was Fate of Luck, the spoken word lyrics just wasn't doing it for me at all. I did find them a bit cringy. However, as soon as he started singing again, I was right back on board. That would have been my only criticism of that song, I think.
I really like the spoken word parts. It's the bit where he's
spoken word's normally
like,
up my street, but I just didn't.
I'm surprised. It's the bit where he's like, he goes, and I say, hey, what are you doing tonight? Are you making the right choice? Is there a right choice? Or are we simply playing the lottery of life, waiting in the long and frustrating queue of uncertainty? And that's just a short part of it, but I loved that bit.
What did you think of the album as a whole then? It's quite a short album, isn't it? Like it's
like 24 minutes or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Just under half an hour.
26 and a half minutes, something
like
that, round about. So yeah, it is really short, but I think that's in its favour, because it does a few things. Those sort of muted guitars, the poppy vocals, I think it does those things on a lot of the tracks. It mixes things up a lot, but it also has those kind of elements that are peppered throughout all of the tracks. So I think the fact that it's short stops that from getting samey,
overused. And
overused. So I think it's the fact that it's fairly short works in its favour. So yeah, I think overall I really liked it. And,
I liked it as well. I know that I kind of mentioned the idea of the sea, or the concept of the sea. I think if you look at the album art, it kind of is quite reminiscent of the sea, and I think it's interesting to say, or it's interesting to mention rather, that each of the tracks are kind of coupled with a specific piece of artwork. To outline certain species of animals and plants that are endangered to Scotland, and kind of raising awareness of some unusual species that some people might not be aware of. So you've got like Atlantic salmon, can't remember them all, but yeah, there's one for all. But even as I said, plants as well, plants that I'd certainly never heard of, like kind of some alpine bush and stuff like that. So that was quite cool. I think the album itself sounds amazing. So it was recorded and produced at home, but mixed at the iconic Abbey Road. And again, kind of backtracking a wee bit, but I mentioned this idea of the sea, or the concept of the sea, and I do think that it's quite an easy listen, and that's not to say that it's throwaway in any respect, but I do feel as if it does kind of wash over you, if that makes sense. But there's still plenty of interesting wee hooks and grooves to kind of draw you in, which you kind of mentioned there, Sneds.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's easy listening, but at the same time, if you listen closely, there are lots of little bits here and there to pick out and enjoy. So yeah, a good album. What have you given it?
I've given it an 8.
Yeah, that's what I've given it as well. Yeah, solid 8 out of 10.
I was going to ask you, did you see him in Edinburgh? Because I'm pretty sure he's playing Sneaky Pete's. Like, I know that he's touring in Germany, or is due to tour in Germany pretty soon. Or maybe he has already, but I'm pretty sure he was playing Sneaky Pete's a few days ago.
I think he was on the
part of the Stag and Dagger,
like Friday night or Thursday Friday night. It wasn't part of Stag and Dagger though, because if it had been, I would have
went.
Probably would have went, but I didn't have the chance to go, but I think that would have been quite a good gig.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he incorporates his artwork into his stage show. You know what I mean? If there's some kind of, if he kind of plays coupled with some interesting visuals.
Yeah, or even like sells some of the artwork as merch, or you
Yeah.
know, like prints and stuff like that. That'd be quite cool.
Aye.
Nice. So that was Third Side of the Coin by Inkfields.
And I live on the third side of the coin. Ist einfach so. And I said, hey, what are you doing tonight? Are you making the right choice? I hear your words, I don't see your action. You put on a show, smile for the camera.
It's not finished. It's finished.